Hey guys, it's Tara with Reiki on the Run, and I have wanted to do a video on combating loneliness for quite some time. I know if you're watching my stuff, it's probably where you might be at this point with everything going on in the world. Everything's a little crazy, everybody's fighting. Maybe you've experienced a breakup, or for whatever reason you are lonely. And I think there's a big misconception out there about loneliness, and I have a lot of friends and clients who talk about trying to keep themselves busy so they don't feel lonely. And I just feel like that's the wrong way to go about it. I think the key is, and with anything, to be okay with being alone. If we're rushing out to keep ourselves busy and keep people around us, it still isn't taking care of the whole issue you have around being alone. That's why meditation is so hard. That's why people don't like to be alone much, because it quiets the mind, all the other noise goes away, and you have to face yourself, which is fine, is great, is what you need to do, but is not always fun going through, the moment. So I have a few ways that I have battled this loneliness thing, and I have to say I've gotten so good at it that I almost would prefer to be alone these days. I do love some people in my life, and it's great to be around people, but I don't feel sad if I don't have plans, or if I have nothing to do all weekend. It's preferred, actually. So hopefully these will help you. I have my list over here because I'm not good at remembering everything, and I'm not going to learn how to edit and spend time editing, so you can just deal. So the first one I have is taking up reading. I know for a long time I got busy with having babies and stuff, and I used to be an avid reader, and I stopped. And I have taken it back up, and it's fantastic. It's nice to read up on things that really interest me. I like to read about raising my consciousness and things like that. And it's just been fun. It's been interesting. It's a nice way to quiet myself, to have something to do without having to go out somewhere. And learning is always good. It's always good if we're opening that mind and learning. It doesn't matter what you read about, what your interests are, but pick up books again. Maybe you haven't stopped. Maybe they're still your friend. But that's just one of the ways that I have combated this loneliness. Let's see, number 2, eating meals alone. I have kids, and I have no problem going to a restaurant by myself and eating dinner. I know a lot of people who think that's absolutely nuts, and there's no way they're going to do that. And that's fine. You don't have to do that. It's a nice habit to get into. It's a nice thing to train yourself to be with yourself without freaking out that nobody's there for you to talk to. But if you can't do the eating out thing, if you don't have the means, if you just can't eat dinner by yourself out in public, I suggest preparing meals at home. Your favorite meals, really taking care to do all the extras that you might do for someone else that you love. Do that for yourself. Make your favorite meals. Look up some new recipes that you want to try, and really put that intention, that love into yourself, like you would if you had someone else, if you would consider yourself not lonely. Let's see, number 3, meditation. Of course, always. A lot of what meditation is sitting alone, being alone, and letting, we suppress all our emotions and issues and feelings and everything we don't want to deal with because we don't want to look at it. We push it down and we leave it there. And when we get alone, or we get too quiet, or we meditate, sometimes that stuff seeps up. And that's, kind of the whole idea. We want to let all that stuff seep up and release it, so it's not all stuffed down in there. I've done a video on releasing emotions, something like that. You might want to check out if you want to go further into that. But meditation is huge. It's been a game changer in my life. I'm still not horribly good at it, but the little bit that I do every day, and I actually do a lot these days because I love it so much. It's such a great feeling to meditate once you get the hang of it, once you finally can calm the mind a little. It just gets better and better. So meditation, of course, is going to be a huge one. Let's see. Find good conversations. This is amazing. It's been happening so much in my life lately, and it hasn't always been the case. You know, when you I tend to hang out with a lot of people, quantity over quality. You tend to have very surfacey conversations, you know, starting with the guy down the road, and, you know, the weather, and then, you know, friends. Maybe you're a parent and you talk to parent friends and all they talk about is their children, or you know, things like that, just surfacey stuff. And it's really beneficial if you can find a few people to have great conversations with, deep conversations that go beyond the weather and school and things like that, and get to the matters of the heart, the things that you're interested in these days, books you've read. There's nothing like sharing books with friends. It's such a fantastic thing to be able to do that. So find people that are like that. And you know, you're not always going to find people like that. So it's good to focus not so much on the quantity of people and make it the quality. I don't know, it's been such a big deal to me to have great conversations with great people over the years. Those are the relationships I truly value and have helped me, especially more recently, to be okay with being on my own and be satisfied with the good conversations and the relationships that I do have that feed my soul, as opposed to the loneliness that you can still have when you're around a bunch of people that you really don't give a shit about and that don't feed your soul, that you're just there, to not be alone. Make sense? Clear as mud? All right, let's see. Get in nature. My last one is get in nature. That's huge. I always say that too, right up there with meditation. There is so much to be gained from getting outside, from touching the earth, from having the sunshine on your face, getting out of, you know, a lot of you may still be stuck in the 9 to 5 inside a cube all day long, you know, then go home, dinner, whatever it is. If you are still stuck inside a lot, you have got to get outside. You know, if you work a 9 to 5, if you can go walk on your breaks, that's huge. Walking as much as you can, running if you can, whatever, just getting outside, moving your body, getting in nature, touching the earth. And another thing, when you go out and enjoy those things, like if you find somewhere to go hiking or you go to the beach, you will find other people that are out there doing these things. And you know, you tend to meet different people than you might normally meet. I live on the beach and I meet tons of different people. It's great. I can either go out there with the intention of wanting to speak to someone, and I can, or I can go out with the intention of not. But there are people around, and it is somewhat comforting. Now, I know I just said it's a big deal to learn to be okay with yourself, which it is, but it's also, you know, getting outside is a great way to run into people that you might not necessarily if you stay inside all the time. So get outside, and if you practice these things, it's just really a matter of becoming okay with yourself, self-love, so you're not having that longing, that need, you know, that loneliness feeling is just a feeling of lack, a feeling that you're not loved by others, but you know, whatever the reasons, and no matter what, even if we don't learn to love ourselves and be okay with being with ourselves, we are never going to be okay, because we can't control others, so we can't ever place all these conditions and make sure people never leave us or never die or never whatever, so that we don't end up alone. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. So you have to become okay and lose that loneliness within, being okay with yourself, always being in joy with yourself, because then no matter what, you're going to be in joy, right? If you can learn to, no matter what, be happy with what is going on in your life, whether you're alone, with someone, whatever the case, then you'll always be happy. Then you don't have to worry about Joe Blow coming over and helping to make you happy. But that's also when you finally get to a point that you are okay with yourself and you're not emitting that lack, that loneliness vibe, law of attraction, like attracts like. When you raise your vibration, start loving yourself, you will start to attract others like that. Others that love themselves, and you're going to manifest those types of relationships, the good conversations and things like that, because you're not emitting that loneliness, that lack of self-love. Because to attract people who love themselves and are where you want to be, you need to be a match to that. So no clingy, sad, lonely feelings. Deep breaths, hanging out with yourself because you're freaking amazing. All right, that's it for me. Hope you're having a good one. If anybody hasn't told you today, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Have a good one.